You hear that? How is that a thing that still exists in the final product? And this game has been out for like 6 years? How is that a thing that just never got fixed? How's it going? Welcome back to Flowers. Summertime edition when we were last together. The recital went off without a hitch. So much emotion, so much drama. Erika and Chidori at the end. And that little moment coming down after the high of a performance, having a little moment together, really feels like seriously building a connection now. So I can only assume things are gonna go easy peasy and super smooth from here on out. So let's go ahead and I will get this rancid sound from your ears and we'll jump right back in. See, it's fine now. It's all gone. It's difficult to describe a smell in words. With sight, you can say exactly what you've seen. With taste, you can talk in many terms of sweetness and bitterness. You don't need anything more than a few simple words to convey sensation. But when it comes to smells, you're fundamentally limited to similes. The scent of summer, the smell after it's rained, the antiseptic smell of a hospital corridor. We described scents figuratively as things they are not. Man, I do really, really, really like a warm summer day after it's rained. And that is one of my favorite things. I'm not a fan while it's raining, but I do kind of like... I do like that smell and kind of feeling overall, like it's cooled down a little bit. Or in the case that it's cooled down like a whole lot and there's like a nice, really, a breeze with a small chill in it. Like, that's one of my favorite summery things. But I'm not so much on the actual rain itself. And in this case, oh God, I can't describe it as anything but the smell of sweat. Good, fantastic. This is exactly how we wanted to start the 4th chapter. According to the calendar, we've passed what is traditionally the first day of fall. But the August sun is still shining down mercilessly into the ballet room. It's a real sauna. Having finished their ballet lesson, my classmates are now wiping away their perspiration with towels. But as soon as they're wiped down their skin, more beads of sweat issue forth. I feel like I'm overheating myself despite not having done any exercise. We all do. There's no air conditioner in this school. There is nothing here to make anything even slightly easier to bear. This place, it's just, enjoy your fucking stink room. I bring my nose toward my clavicle and sniff. I'm relieved to find that I don't smell any worse than regular sweat, although I mutter to myself all the same about never being fully aware of your own body odor. I can't describe the ballet room as smelling of anything but sweat, though there is an exception to that. My best friend smells like heaven and sunshine. My métier partner is drenched in sweat after her intense practice. Takasaki snatches a towel from snatches a towel I'm holding and wipes her neck and face. Her proximity means that the smell of her sweat, no, that scent of peaches particular to Takasaki, tickles my nostrils. Nah, I think that's just your brain cooking up a very idealized image/smell of a girl that you are probably at this point at least mildly infatuated with. She hands a towel back to me. For some reason, it gets me down to find it smells even more like peaches. Give this cute girl water. She is going to wither and die. The Sasaki sisters scurry over and I hand the younger one the water bottle I have with me to ensure that I don't get dehydrated. Actually, everyone is supposed to have their own. The younger sister looks at the other reproachfully as she gulps down my water, but when the older one asks me for the towel and grabs it from me before I even have time to voice my assent.
汗だらだらだよ。なんだ？焼肉の匂いでもするのか？
Barbecued meat? I mean, I guess that's an okay thing to smell like. Like, I would probably... I don't know that I would want a perfume that smells like barbecue, but I'm a big fan of the smell of barbecue.
お昼前だからってそんなにお腹空いてないよ。これ、桃の匂いがする。香水をつけとくなんておしゃれだね。
No, it's the magical girl whose sweat smells like peaches.
前も言ったが、名前呼びはやめろ。
She's really intent on this. Don't call me by my first name. But everybody just does it anyway.
でも高崎ちゃんは呼んでるじゃない。
So she does. Ever since the recitation, she stopped calling me you and started calling me Erika without any honorifics. I've told her time and time again to cut it out, but I'm wasting my breath. She seems to have no intention of going back to how she called me before. Yeah, that's kind of a thing, isn't it? There's nobody that's going to adhere to her asking them to not use her first name. And so I've had no choice but to accept it. However, reluctantly my ass. Very little reluctance here.
あなたもエリカと呼びたいの？そうだよ。だって仲良しだって気がするしね。
Takasaki responds with a sort of sigh. I can't tell if she gets it or not.
そういえば、明日から授業が増えるらしいな。
More? Thought summer was all about having less classes. Wary of where this conversation is headed, I changed the subject.
英語と第二外国語でしたね。ごちそうさまでした。全部飲みやがったな。しかし礼法ね。ま、花嫁修行の場としてこの学院に入学させる親も多いっていうから仕方ないのかもな。
Etiquette classes are so weird.
礼法か。正直自信ないん
Nah,
だよね。
you got it nailed. There's already nobody that has better manners than you, Ichigo, so you're good.
確かにダメそうだよな。そういうエリカちゃんだって苦手そうじゃん。
I love how these two barb back and forth. It's really good.
確かに和式での作法とか言われても正座もろくにできないしな。
I slap my legs with a grin.
ここでは西洋式の礼法でしょ。
Takasaki addresses this to the Sasakis, who are looking troubled.
このクラスでは花火師さんが得意そうね。
Yeah, like there's nobody that's gonna be able to knock out etiquette classes better than Rika. I agree, and we all turn to stare at the president, who's now wiping herself down and chatting with Shirahane. She notices our gazes.
何を悪巧みしているの？
She comes over with a smile, bringing Shirahane along too.
新しく増える授業のことを話してたんだ。憂鬱だよ。そうなの？私は楽しみだけど
I
な。
mean, of course, if anybody would be.
語学も礼儀作法もどちらもりっちゃんさんは得意そうですし。
Oh,
語学？何を言って？佐々木さんたちは新しく増える礼法と第二外国語の授業のことを言っているのよ。りっかさんは選択授業のことを言っているのよね。
Right. We're also meant to pick another elective class. At the academy, all physical education takes the form of ballet. We're also required to take etiquette classes and a second language.
ガーデニングと弦楽器、どちらかを選ぶというものだったわよね。そうだ。どっちか選べとか横暴だよな。
It's not the kind of thing I want the luxury of choosing. If you're given a choice, you feel like you're exercising your freedom, but being forced to choose between two things, and it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. It leaves a bitter taste as having it leaves a bitter taste as having the choice made for you anyway.
そうどちらも初めての経験ができて楽しみだわ。八重垣さんはどちらを専攻しようと思っているの？
If I take up an instrument, I could get Takasaki to teach me. Gardening, Shirahane is the one with the green fingers? No, she's the one with ghoul fingers. Have you seen that hand? I'm taking this seriously, then it'll probably be the music class I choose. Gardening would be difficult with my legs.
ま、弦楽器かな。それに音楽系ならミティが得意そうだし。
Yeah, there you
手取
go.
り足取り教えてもらえそうだ。私に教えてもらいたいの？まあ、そうだが。
I'm caught off guard. I'd expected her to come back with a retort about me not being a baby.
エリカがそう言うなら教えてあげなくもないわよ。
Not the response I would have expected either.
なんかお前丸くなったな。バカ。
Her cheeks flush and she snatches the towel from my hands to hide her face. I glance over at Shirahane, seeking confirmation that I hadn't said anything peculiar, and find her looking back at me warmly, like a mother might a child.
なんだってんだ。
Ah, what? I scrub a hand through my bangs and slap the elder Sasaki, who's smirking at me, square on the bottom.
これって仲良くなってきた証拠
That's how I confirm BFF status as well. Just go around slapping people on the ass. It's no big deal.
私としてはそう思います。
While regarding the whispering twins out of the corner of my eye, I gaze across at my amitié partner.
合わせた方がやりやすいんだろうが。
I'm surprised to find myself thinking so nonchalantly about how to integrate my lifestyle with my amitié partners. It's working. It's working just as Dahlia had imagined it would. She set this up from the beginning because she's a super people genius. Despite the fact that I had drawn a clear line between the two of us,
どうにもまずい。
I let out a small sigh as I regard both my bookworm buddy and my amitié partner. Both ended up crossing that line without my being aware of it. Yeah, people got in. You let them in. You can't take them out now. And so we begin our etiquette lessons.
ナプキンを膝に置くときにもタイミングがあります。
Man, even placing a napkin? We're gonna be that strict? Shirahane passes, but when the elder Sasaki sister triumphantly copies her, she's stopped with a sharp rebuke.
どこが？
これから私がディナーを共にする主とします。と言いましたね。ナプキンを膝の上に乗せるのはオーダーが済んだ後。
Ichigo looks relieved, but Sister Basquiat continues with an uncharacteristically stern look.
招待客は主がナプキンを広げてから後に広げなくてはなりません。佐々木さんは
Damn.
私を待たずに広げましたね。
15 days! 15 days in the dungeon. That's it. You're never coming back from this. How angry she is. Good Lord, she's taking this etiquette thing very seriously, but I guess if you're sending girls to what I guess is kind of maybe revered as a good finishing school, then maybe, you know.
はい。
Everyone listens intently to her guidance, which is far stricter than we'd expected.
聖書をそらんじる時よりも真剣だな。こういうバスキア教諭は珍しい。
Surprised by this new side of her, I listened to her explanation on how to spread out a napkin, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. While I don't mind getting told off, I don't like being thought of as dumb.
途中退席をしたいときにはナプキンの真ん中を持ち三角形にして椅子の上に置きます。
Good Lord.
こうすることで食事中だと給仕に知らせる合図になるのです。
ダリア先生、そもそも食事中は途中退席をしてはならないと
Rika,
言い
you
ました
gotta
が。
pee at some point. there's gotta be room in high society and etiquette for having to pee.
それはフランス料理の時ですね。途中退席はマナー違反です。席を立つことができるのはデザート後のお茶の時間だけです。
The class nods. It's interesting how much etiquette differs country to country.
ご飯をいただくときはフォークの背にご飯を乗せるのよね。
What? That's... Hold on, I have a fork. Right here. You put the food on the back of the fork? How do you... That is not how a fork is engineered to be used. It's a hump. You don't put food on a hump. Fucking fork's not a camel. What am I doing?
あれはイギリス式のマナーで、フォークの腹を絶対に上に向けないという
The
作法から、
what? The time of the fork must never face
結果的に背に乗せざるを得ないってだけなんだぜ。
upward so as to result that you're supposed to place the food? That's dumb!
そうなの？
People like... I am 100% convinced that etiquette rules exist for people to just lord power over somebody, to just have control over somebody's actions. Because there's no reason at all. Like, the fork is not made to be used like that.
パスタの食べ方も作法は様々だしな。イタリアじゃスプーンの助けを借りて食べると子供だとからかわ
Well,
れるし
yeah,
さ。
if you use a spoon as well as a fork, you'll be made fun of for eating like a kid?
私たちはまだ子供じゃない。
That's a good point. I'm with Chidori on this.
そういうことを言っているんじゃないんだよ。
A cool voice interrupts my quarrel with Takasaki.
詳しいようですし、次は八重垣さんにやってもらおうかしら。
Oh, geez, here we go.
いや、できれば席順通りで。
Nah, I'm good.
はい。
Bowing to unvoiced pressure, I move my wheelchair forward, giving my amitié partner, who's acting like she had no part in this, a prod in the side as I pass by.
サウスパークのケニーみたいな。
Yes! I feel like I'm Kenny from South Park. Today, in references that I am not expecting the Yuri visual novel to make.
なんです。
But we did have Austin Powers in an earlier chapter, so the hell's wrong with me? Muttering to myself about my crappy luck, I give the dull-eyed elder Sasaki sister a pat on the shoulder as I take her place at the table. Next up is our language class.
イタリア語。
Oh, good. I'd heard that Italian was growing more prevalent in the Vatican in place of the official Latin, but although this is a Christian school, I think I'd rather have had a choice. There must be other languages people want to learn, like German for those aiming to become doctors, or French for those who fancy themselves artists.
さあ、自己紹介文は書けたかしら。
Since all we need to do is apply what's written in the teaching materials, everyone should have managed, but
よりによって高崎かよ。
oh no. Takasaki enjoys our English lessons, but she's terrible at languages. When she's picked to go first, I instinctively find myself wanting to say a prayer for her.
ミキアーモ。
She gives her name falteringly. When she's managed it, her expression changes to one of pride.
では、あなたの生まれはどこでしょうか。
The next question follows hot on the trail of the first, and she freezes up. I guess the introduction she prepared didn't mention anything about her background. As the silence lengthens, she brings her face closer to the textbook, then finally finds her voice again. But her pronunciation of sono di, meaning I am from, comes out sounding like salty. Our classmates snicker. However, the mention of salt calls to mind corn on the cob with a generous sprinkling of salt to bring out the corn's rich sweetness. My stomach gurgles.
参ったな。
Rubbing my stomach, I look over at one of the Sasakis to cast the blame on her. She flushes red and shakes her head vigorously, and I wait longingly for lunch.
ようやく落ち着いたぜ。
What do we got today? It looks like we got a nice curry today. And salad, girl. Still just gonna salad over here, huh? I scarfed down the long-awaited lunch, a keema curry packed with fresh summer vegetables. During the summer months, I crave cool, refreshing food, but curry is the one exception. It's the only food I can always eat, even if I have no appetite. That's me and cantaloupe, really. Like, even if, like, I am dog shit sick, give me cantaloupe and I'll live. That's all I need. The main ingredient in keema curry is minced meat, but this version, using lots of eggplant, is probably our own chef's special. It has just a drop of oyster sauce hidden beneath the garlic and ginger and adds a subtle hint of seasoning.
あとは半熟の目玉焼きが乗ってりゃ最高だったんだが。
Perhaps they hadn't wanted to throw in too many flavors. An egg would add a nice mild note, but might also overwhelm the rest of the dish. I scoop up a spoonful of the curry sauce, rich with eggplant and tomato, and gulp it down with some white rice. The blissful taste again spreads through my mouth. The combination of spices alongside the tartness of the tomato is exquisite.
What
What are you taking notes about now? We didn't even give you anything. Takasaki is scribbling something in her notebook. A plate of salad is in front of her as usual. I crane my neck to take a peek.
英語は良くてもイタリア語はダメか。ダメね。好きになれないわ。
She looks unusually tired. After she's finished writing, she tosses the notebook onto her desk.
元気そうだな。
You're full of beans! I say to her.
エリカの目は節穴なの？ああ、そうね。今のはいつもの軽口か。本当に苦手みたいだな。でも語学ってくくりなら、英語もイタリア語もそう変わらないだろ。
Really?
そう？私にはイタリア語の方が難しく感じるわ。特に発音が難しい。お前、おかしな巻き舌になってたものな。
She nibbles at her salad uninterestedly, apparently lacking the will to retort back. It's like the lettuce itself is the source of her suffering.
明日は選択授業が始まる。もっと面倒事が増えるな。ガーデニングと弦楽器でしょ？そっちの方が全然いい。
She really has it in for Italy, to put it kindly.
それで、エリカはどちらを選ぶの？ああ、私に気を使う必要はないわ。承知しているよ。そうだな。私は。
I take another bite of curry as I mull it over. This is no good. Eating your meal with a head full of worries turns it into a little more than refueling. It's borderline sacrilege to scarf down your meals in an odd spare moment while you're distracted by other things. It turns good food into mere fuel and makes the process of eating very boring. I am absolutely with Erika on the way she views food. Like, I hate when I can't just, like, enjoy something, or when a good meal gets interrupted, or yeah, like, I'm the same way. Despite the fact that sometimes I eat a lot of trash because my day-to-day kind of just calls for something fast and easy, I just really hate it when I'm in the middle of a real good meal and it's just like, nah, dog, like, we gotta savor this moment. Everything's gotta be right. Like, I'm absolutely with her. I put down my spoon and announce my decision.
お前と一緒の教科にするよ。
Aww. Ain't that nice?
なぜ私と一緒の教科にしたの？
Takasaki looks at me curiously.
ひねくれているからだよ。
Is that it? I answer.
それは魅力的な理由ね。
I gesture towards Sister Basquiat, who's going on with her explanation of the violin, her index finger pressed to her lip. Takasaki's nodding along knowledgeably.
礼法の授業みたいになるの だろ?
Yeah. Ever the contrarian, I decided on music rather than gardening for my elective. Everyone else, Prez and the Sasaki's, my bookworm buddy, has chosen gardening. Although they've repeatedly asked me to join them, it's human nature to resist harder the stronger you're pulled in one direction. I decided to take the music class instead alongside my amitié partner, and now here I am learning the violin from Sister Basquiat. Man, she just literally knows how to do everything. Is there literally nothing that Dahlia can do? Like, she just, like, good lord. She's literally a perfect human being. Katabami-san is teaching the gardening class.
寮長か。そういや、バスキア教諭とダリアの花の品種改良を手伝っているとか言ってたものな。
The breeding of her dahlias. I'd elicited a nugget of information from her myself. Even though it was no more than 2 months ago, it feels like an age. I'm absorbed in my thoughts when...
それでは、ここの部位は何と言ったかしら、ヤンガキさん。
I'm suddenly called upon. Rip.
ですね。
もしかして聞いていなかったのかしら?
I shake my head. Takasaki whispers to me that it's called a chin rest, and although I wonder if perhaps she's playing a trick, I repeat it.
はい、そうです。顎当ては付け替えることができます。これは木製のものですが、木製でも形状や色艶、アレルギー対策などで樹脂製のものなどもあります。自分に合ったものを付け替えてくださいね。
Without turning my gaze away from Sister Basquiat as she continues with her lecture, I convey my gratitude toward my amitié partner who's sitting beside me.
別に素直にわからないと言っても怒らないと思うわよ。話を聞いてないとなったら悲しむだろう。
Yeah. I can see that.
怒られるのが嫌なのではないの?
I mean, I can also see that too. Given my personality, I'm used to being scolded, but I don't like to make people sad.
もしかしてバスキア教諭が目当てで。なんだよ、どうした？なんでもないわ。でもバイオリンもそうだけれど譜面も読めないのでしょ？そうだがどうした？
What does reading music have to do with it being in a music class? Pshaw. She gives me a sidelong glance with her narrow almond eyes.
音楽に全く興味がなかったのね。
Ouch. I respond by saying, I am a bit, but...
少しはあるっちゃあるが。そうなの？声が大きい。抑えろ。
Stop it. She nods and I steal a glance at Sister Basquiat, who's explaining that the strings are called G, D, A, and E, starting from the one that produces the lowest sound.
このゲーセン、一番太い弦ですね。
G string, you
この
say?
ゲーセンだけで弾かれる曲、ゲーセン上のアリアは有名ですね。
As I half listen to her explain the names of the strings alongside brief anecdotes of the sort, I ask Takasaki whether there's any musical pastime that doesn't require reading sheet music. She whispers,
もしかして歌を歌うのが好きとか?
I snort to cover my discomposure, making it fairly obvious that I don't. Takasaki, however, continues staring fixedly at my lips. She places a finger on my chin and tips my head up as though she's getting ready to kiss me!
授業中だぞ。
Like that's like the first thing she thinks of, and not just like, hey, you know, I think you're trying to kiss me. It's like, now we're in class. Could you like maybe do this in a not class environment?
こうしてやや上を向いて歌うと喉の開きが良くなるの。は？今度やってみるといいわ。勘違いだと言っただろ。
I curtly shake off her hand and induce a fake coughing attack to cover my blush and calm myself down. Class continues until... Yeah, it's going well.
ようやく構えるところまで来たはいいが。
So cute. Just giving her a hand. I speak dejectedly, bow in hand, after trying to play a note.
そもそも音が全然出ないってのはどうなんだ。
Not putting enough tension on the string! Aware that I must be looking a bit stiff, I force my mouth into a frown and complain resentfully. Takasaki examines the bow intently.
これは新品の弓なのね。松ヤニを塗ってないのだから、いくら弾いても音は出ないわよ。私のセンスのなさからじゃないのか。使い込んでいるものでも30分弾くごとに 2,3 回こすってつけるのよ。私のを使ってみなさい。
She goes and gets her own bow, then hands it over to me.
さあ、もう一度。お前が最初にやってもいいんだぞ。私は基本は押さえているわ。さあ。
I do as she says and put the violin into position again, this time with Takasaki's bow in hand.
そう。顎と鎖骨で挟み込むように。まっすぐ前を見ながら、そのまま。結構、この体勢つらいんだが。
That's part of the discipline.
まずは正しいフォームを覚えなければならないの。ゴルフや野球でもそうでしょ。お前に私の愛するベースボールで説教を受けるとは思わなかったよ。
I try making a joke, but Takasaki takes no notice. She regards me closely.
片当てなしでも大丈夫そうね。さっき言っていたやつか。なくても平気なのか。単に体型として必要かどうかなのよ。必ず必要というわけではないわ。片当てなしの方が鎖骨に響いていいという人もいるし。隠された意外な才能ってやつかね。今の構えを覚えておけばいい。その構えを体に染み込ませれば、手を離しても顎と肩で挟んでいるからバイオリンは落ちないわ。
I've heard that violins aren't exactly cheap, and though I nod in response, I make no move to actually let go of it.
ちょっと。
My posture must have slipped in my mind when my mind wandered on to other things, and Takasaki leans forward and takes my hand into hers. What? Huh? Hello.
What?
Hello. How you doing? Things, going okay over there?
下がっているわ。きちんと顎とここ。やめろ。変なところに触るな。
She can't handle it.
何を言っているの？鎖骨に当てて挟むようにして。
Even though I know she's just instructing me, the touch of her fingers against my neck makes me feel a little strange. With her so close to me, I can feel the heat of her body and smell the scent of peaches coming from her.
胸も迫ってきてるし。
Yeah, there you go! I try my best not to think about it, but now that I have, I can't stop my gaze from trailing down to her top quality assets. I feel a mix of envy and a desire to touch them.
ちょっと話聞いているの？
Paying perfect attention, ma'am. She's so flustered. I cough, trying to get my wandering mind back on track and readjust my posture.
なんで顎と肩でバイオリンを挟まなきゃならないんだ。別に弾くだけならどんな姿勢でも構わないんじゃないの？この姿勢、構えで重要なのは左手のネック。わかるわね。ネックを自在に移動させ、小指まで動かして弦を押さえないといけない
It's
の。
always the worst. Playing guitar, and I play some bass. I hate anything involving the pinky finger. Like, I just, oh, it's the worst. I know that you just work at it. I just never had the patience because I'm dumb.
つまり、左手の自由度が演奏の要となるから、その姿勢でなければならないのよ。
I nod. I'd asked the question offhandedly. I'm impressed there's actually a meaning behind it.
顎を下げない。
Chin up! Stop looking at boobs! She immediately points it out when I start to slip.
首をかしげすぎてもバイオリンの響きを邪魔してしまう。
Boobs are not good for violin playing. Remember
鎖骨の
this.
視点だけで押さえるのを覚えて。わかったよ。
I kind of want to stick my tongue out at her, but somehow I'm not really annoyed. Just a little while back, I wouldn't have been able to stand being taught by her this way.
そんなに悪いやつじゃな
I
い。
guess she's okay. Got nice boobs.
何？いや、すぐに
The instrument's very cool.
無茶言うよな。ゴセック作曲のガボットでしょ？完璧に弾けってわけでなし。きちんと学べば大丈夫よ。そもそも曲名すら聞いたことないって話だぜ。バイオリンでは有名な曲だから耳にしたことがあると思うわ。
I tell her that it's unlikely, but then I remember the case of Hedwig's theme and reconsider.
互いに互いのバイオリンの持ち方を確認し合いましたか？
I think Erika's checking out quite a bit more than the posture,
次は
Sister
実際に音を
Dahlia.
出してみましょう。
Just saying. Sister Basquiat's voice rings out. I adjust my grip on the bow, feeling a little more optimistic that I'll actually manage it this time. Oh, we don't get to hear her trying to play a little bit? A little disappointed. I'm beginning to doze off, probably worn out from all the new classes when the hands washing my legs come to a stop, and wary that something's wrong, I open my eyes.
ごめんなさいね。
Oh
つい
no.
考え
You
事
having a
して
bad
しま
day?
って。
Are you having a sad? I can't exactly complain considering that I was falling asleep while she was hard at work bathing me.
そういえば、高崎が風呂の介助もしてやろうかとか言っていたな。
Oh, are we gonna go there? I'd rejected the idea out of embarrassment at being seen naked by a classmate, but leaving it in the hands of the already busy Sister Basquiat is an issue in its own right.
あの、
Oh. We both end up speaking at the same time, and I feel suddenly self-conscious. Before I can open my mouth again, Sister Basquiat carries on, her brow furrowed. She prefaces her remarks by saying that she doesn't like to feel like she's tattling.
白羽さんから何か聞いていないかしら？
Hmm? She asks me. I tilt my head at the vague phrasing, and she continues with a little
白
sigh.
羽さんから高坂さんのことを聞かれたの？
What? Oh god, can Erika lie to Dahlia at all?
高坂のことです。
ええ。矢垣さんは白羽さんと仲が良いでしょ？
Is Suo asking about Mayuri? Is she? Do I have to break out the Glock? I'm the one who encouraged her to find out the reason Kosaka left the academy, so I mean, it's not strange that she should be asking. This was definitely kind of a big
尋ねて
thing.
もおかしくないでしょ。
It was her amitié partner and, you know, just a little bit more.
あれだけ仲が良かったんだ。急に辞めたら理由を知りたくなるのは当然だと思いますけどね。
Sister Basquiat murmurs her agreement, her eyes downturned. I panic slightly, realizing that I may have been colder than I intended.
あ、いや、バスキア教諭が悪いって話ではないです。ただ、尋ねるのは当たり前だと。
そうね。でも、なぜ今なのかしら？
Her words give me a start. I wonder how she'd react if she found out that I was the instigator. Perhaps my uncertainty shows as Sister Basquiat apologizes, then resumes washing me.
こんなこと生徒に打ち明けるなんていけないわよね。八重垣さんとは一番お話ししやすいから。
そうなんですか。委員長とかの方が。
生徒を比べてしまうなんてダメね。
Ah, it's
聞かなか
okay.
ったことにして。
We know that we're the favorite. She beams at me and I feel a painful clenching in my chest.
だってんだ。
special. I let out a long, deep breath to expel the heat from my chest, chiding myself for being happy to be told something like that.
こんなことを頼むのはおかしいかもしれないけれど。
I encouraged her to go on, unable to resist the earnest glimmer in her eyes.
白羽さんのこと少
Aww.
し気にかけておいてもらえないかしら。
It's not like she wasn't going to anyway. I'm the one who encouraged her to look into the incident with Kosaka so that she could move on.
注意してみますよ。
Still, I accept Sister Basquiat's request. It'll be a good opportunity for me to check on her progress anyway.
"礼法というものは恥をかくのを防ぐために覚えるのではありません。相手に対して敬意を払えているかどうかなのです。
Really? Is somebody gonna be all that weirded out if I don't, you know, act like a complete idiot and put my food on the back of a fork? That's still the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Maybe not the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, maybe like 16th or 17th dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's somewhere like, it's definitely below people saying, I like Pokemon earnestly. But it's really up there. She admonishes the elder Sasaki sister who's messed up countless times now, then addresses the rest of us, all listening nervously.
このような堅苦しい作法などどうでもよいと考えて
Damn, you need to calm down. It's just fucking forks and spoons and shit.
ですが礼儀をわきまえることによりあなた方ひいてはご家族の名誉を守ることになるのです。
Hearing her hold forth on family does little to sway me, but when it comes to the rest of my classmates, it seems to have struck a particular nerve with Ichigo, who has been making more mistakes than anyone else. She's shrunk in on herself and is listening respectfully to the lecture.
ではもう一度初めから席に着くところから始めますよ。
Ichigo is clearly very nervous about being called upon again.
助け舟の一つも出してやるかね。
Wouldn't be bad to put her in my debt. Deciding that it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have Ichigo in my debt, I raise my hand.
どうしました八重垣さん。
手順を見て大体覚えたと思うので、一度直にやってみて確かめたいのですが。
Sister Basquiat narrows her golden eyes and glances at Ichigo, who's already been picked to demonstrate. Then,
そうですね。では席に着くところから始めてください。
as if she's got any other choice in the matter, it seems the novelty of me offering to take part in something has won out. Ichigo returns to her seat and smiles weakly as though she's just finished training for a marathon.
ありがとう八重垣ちゃん。こいつは貸しだから。
You owe me. She touches my side out of view of Sister Basquiat. I guess it's her way of showing affection.
座るときは腰を深くかけ、食卓との間を握り拳一つ程度開けるのが適当だったか。
Moving my chair forward, I mentally rehearse the process. It's not just Ichigo Sasaki who's struggling.
発音ですが、
Sister Basquiat points to her own mouth as she forms the sound.
スイと発音してください。
はい。
Although her expression doesn't look to have changed, as someone who spends a huge amount of time with her, I can tell just how worn out she is. Takasaki's the one who announced that she only takes up hobbies that are of benefit to her. She won't give in and quit just because languages aren't her forte. She's tackling it head on despite being bad at it. That's why it's so draining for her.
苦手なものは苦手だって避ければいいのによ。
I don't know. I don't think that that's the way to go through life either. I think it's definitely okay to not always take on things that aren't for you or you don't feel you're great at. But I do think that there's value in, at the very least, trying or if it's something that you are personally pursuing, at least putting forth a little more effort than you normally would, maybe even to the point to where you're kind of stressing yourself out a little bit. It's the whole point of getting better at something is to kind of stretch it little by little, push your boundaries a little bit.
では先ほど教えました子音が2つ重なる即音便の例を高崎さん。
それは確か。
Takasaki hesitates, her irritated gaze wandering, and the surrounding students shrink back. Of course, all she's really doing is narrowing her eyes in thought.
わかりません。
Her distress is written all over her face. Poor girl.
珍しいわね。
The president voices her surprise.
そう言われるのは委員長で3度目だよ。
She tilts her head at me and continues eating her soy sauce flavored pasta. I hadn't had the heart to order my exhausted amitié partner to bring me lunch straight after our language class, so I've come along with her to the dining hall. Oh, look at you. You're integrating. You don't even realize it, but you are integrating. Man, Dahlia's a genius.
なんだか随分と疲れているみたいだけど、エリカの例え癖で言うなら、今の私は
But the Lord,
プルトニウムを積んでいないデロリアンだ
know
って
that
こと。
reference? I feel like that's a reference that Erika would make, yes?
すっからかんってことだよ。
I interpret for her. The buttery soy sauce pasta is certainly delicious, but
物憂げな顔が真ん前にあると味もしなくなるな。
I grumble to myself.
第二外国語よね。私も正直あまり得意じゃないのよね。
Really? Kind of figured you would just like be good at everything because you are like perfect president girl.
珍しいな。委員長が勉強関連も苦手だっていうの初めて聞いたぜ。語学ってセンスが問われる気がするのよね。英語はまだなんとかなるんだけど、私も。
Hey, common ground! Takasaki nods her agreement, and I find myself wanting to ask how much better her English classes are actually going.
そうだわ。八重垣さん、語学が堪能みたいだし、私と高崎さんへ教えるっていう
At
の
the
はどう
same
かしら。
time?
いいことを思いついた的に言われてもな。ま、
I continue watching Takasaki listlessly nibble at her salad.
教えるのは構わない。こいつには弦楽器の授業で世話になっているからな。いいの？
Takasaki looks surprised.
構わないよ。放課後、暇な時にでも相手してやるよ。
She's so nice.
そう。ありがとう。
My amitié partner looks down and then takes another forkful of salad. I'm a little bewildered at her reaction. It feels weird having her respond so meekly.
いいな。
Easy there, partner. Easy there, little Miss Blackmail. I didn't say you.
委員長は白羽に教わればいいだろ。
I bluntly turn her down. Speaking of Shirahane, since Sister Basquiat requested it of me, well, I've decided I should try and keep an eye on her. However,
この時間から
where
外
are
出
you
か。
headed? Since she didn't have cooking club today, Shirahane returned to the dorms early. Other club activities are finishing up now, and it's really no time to be going out again, and yet there she is.
これでトイレってだけなら笑えるだけだが。
It doesn't look like this is something to just laugh off. Shirahane heads straight out of the dormitory building, then along the path through the woods that leads to the school.
こりゃ、薬が効きすぎたのかね。
As I watch Shirahane recede down the path, I think back to how I'd told her to investigate Kosaka's disappearance. What reason could my timid bookworm buddy possibly have for heading across the school building in the twilight hours of the day? And that timidity of hers seems to confer heightened powers of perception, too. She stopped still for a moment, and I sensed her scanning her surroundings carefully. After a while, she finally gives up and her footsteps move off into the
つ
distance.
けていくのは無理か。
Oh, damn, she's good! One such incident might be brushed off as her imagination playing tricks on her, but I doubt she'd ignore a second. If I can't follow her, then I could cut around in front. I wait until the following day around the same time that thought occurred to me. I can't help but smile upon hearing the sound I've become accustomed to waking up to in the morning. However, it's so faint. There she is.
今は相手をしてる暇はないな。
Oh, but we're not tutoring her now! Oh, wait! Oh, that's poopy! Erika, you've got responsibility! You made a promise! I blocked my mind at the sound of my amitié partner's singing. For once she's practicing as evening rolls in and gaze up at the windows of the dorm building.
そろそろ頃合いだが。
From my vantage point outside, I home in on the window to my bookworm buddy's room. Although I thought I could cut around in front of her yesterday, she was already too far ahead. It would have been foolish to have waited over at the school for no one to show up. So instead, I'm lying in wait outside the dorms at the same time today to see if she'll sneak out again. I hear a footstep behind
何
me.
をしているの？
You got busted! I've been found by the owner of that voice I'd been striving to ignore.
カブトムシを探してたんだよ。悪いか？共同生活だということを考えて、私は虫はあまり好まない。
She's so earnest. Takasaki's declaration that she doesn't like bugs reminds me again of Shirahane. I don't really have time to be chatting with her right now, but...
そうか。見つからなくて諦めていたところだから、上々だよ。そろそろ戻った方がいい。
Yeah, don't we have
食事の時間だ。
plans?
まだ夕食にはだいぶあるでしょ？何か怪しいわね。何も怪しいことなんてないだろう。苦戦しているものね。
She sounds highly amused. Ugh, she can be so snarky. Then...
その
Oh.
約束の第二外国語の勉強だけど。
Go tutor
時間が空
her!
いているなら今から教えてもらえないかしら。
She goes on awkwardly.
約束？そんなことしてた？
Aw, don't be mean.
エリカ、あなた。冗談だよ。そういうところもあの子に。
Huh? Out of the corner of my eye, I spot Shirahane stepping out into the corridor.
愚痴は後で聞いてやるよ。じゃあ。
Damn! I don't have much time to get around in front of her. Ignoring Takasaki calling out to me, I spin my wheels, making a fast getaway. After hurrying ahead and lying in wait for her outside the school building, I watch Shirahane approach, following her movements from a safe distance. From outside, I watch her walk along one of the main corridors and head towards the teacher's lounge.
なるほどね。
I guess she probably hasn't received a satisfactory answer from Sister Basquiat about the reason Kosaka dropped out of school, which is why she's resorting to force.
真面目なやつほど。
She's gonna go in there and she's gonna bust heads! I suddenly feel wretched. She must be going to the teacher's lounge to search for records relating to Kosaka's departure. I feel an intense rush of jealousy when I reflect on how much she must miss her to be driven to such foolishness. My mood darkens. I draw in a long breath and let it out slowly, as though to expel my feelings with it. Once I've calmed down somewhat and affirmed that I'm back to my usual self, I decide to return to the dorms. As I return down the same path, I glance up toward the scarlet sky. The red striated... What? I've never seen that word. The red striated by towering columns of cloud. They're so huge, the sight of them alone makes me feel dizzy. I can't get a handle on their scale at all. Still feeling wretched, my thoughts turn to my family, and especially my older sister. Hello. That's probably why I don't feel any sense of surprise when I hear Shirahane's voice behind me. My gaze travels down from the red clouds and towards Shirahane's hands. I note that she's returning empty-handed.
こんなに遅くにどうしたの？ちょいと散歩だよ。お前もどうした？ウサギのご機嫌伺いか？学者に用があったのよ。
I'm taken aback by her honesty. I shouldn't be, though.
白羽が嘘をつくのなんて想像できないものな。
She gracefully cocks her head at me as I smile to myself.
高崎もお前と同じくらいに分かりやすいとありがたいんだけどな。高崎さん、彼女とは何かあったの？第二外国語、あいつ苦手だろ。だから教えてやる約束をしてたんだが、あることで。
I look up at Shirahane.
二度ほど保護にしたら睨みやがってさ。試験だってまだ先だろうに。別段急ぐこともないってのにな。そういうこと。何がそういうことなんだよ。
Shirahane smiles softly in the light of the setting sun.
高崎さんはね、拗ね
Oh.
ているのよ。拗ねる？何に対してだ？
Yes.
約束を破って。
Probably gonna be my like there's a lot of things she could be sulking about, but I'm pretty sure like this is pretty high on the list. Here's a hint. It's number 1.
それもあるだろうけど、勉強を教えてもらえない。
She didn't get to spend time with you.
さんと一緒に過ごす。
That's all she wanted.
そんな少女みたいな理由で。
Yes, she is. Trust me. As soon as I've said it, I realize that, well, we are still teenagers. However,
反抗期真っ盛りのガキじゃないんだぞ。
you don't get that? You don't get that vibe from her, like, at all?
きっと仲のいいお友達と遊ぶ
Mm-hmm.
約束をしていたのに。
There you
そ
go.
の友達は約束に重きを置いてくれて。
I'm always Team Erika, but
拗ねているのよ。
sometimes you gotta eat crow, and like, you... I almost said you stepped in it, but I think she would appreciate that. Is that really how Takasaki sees it? I think of her haughty, aloof gaze.
ちゃんと約束は守ってあげないと。お友達でしょ。
I balk at the word friends.
私の友人は本だけだよ。
Despite my sharp retort, as I gaze up at the scarlet-dipped clouds, I find myself feeling just a little bit curious about how Takasaki sees me.
白羽さんと一緒にいたの。
Oh, man. This feels bad. Feels bad. You like her more than me, don't you? You wish she was your amitié. Her tone is ice cold. She's sitting at her desk with her textbook open. She doesn't even glance at me when I come in. Her back may be turned, but I can tell she's irritated. After finishing up my somewhat awkward conversation with Shirahane, I'd watch the sky darken from scarlet to deep purple before heading back to my room.
密会してするおしゃべりは随分と楽しいのでしょうね。
Man. And it's like, yeah, you kind of deserve this. You were kind of mean. You just... Like, you literally just ditched her, like, in mid-conversation, Erika. It's kind of mean. I want to check with my bookworm buddy if this is even... I want to check with my bookworm buddy if this even icier tone seriously still meets that she's just sulking.
ちょいと図書室へ本を借りに行ってただけさ。お前は試験勉強中ってか？誰かさんが教えてくれないから一人でね。
Oh.
図書室に行ったにしては本借りてきてないじゃない。
Oh, God. Erika, you just dropping the ball left and right here.
借りようとした本が貸し出し中だったのさ。なんだよ。そんなに教えてほしかったのか？
I glance at her notebook, which is open on the table. Looks like she's been taking notes.
書き取りなら私が教える必要はなさそうだな。
I pick up the notebook with a smile, but she snatches it back from me with her face like a mask.
発音を教えてほしいのよ。
Man, did you hear that? She just sounds so deflated. She mutters the most unintelligent. She mutters this almost unintelligibly, her face downturned. For a moment, I'm not quite sure what she said.
もういいわ。
Jeez. She answers curtly.
面倒なやつだな。
Really? I don't know. Erika, I think you're kind of maybe you gotta take the blame for a little bit of this one. Yo, dog, come on. Like, open up to me a little bit. Thinking back to what Shirahane said about her sulking, I go and sit down opposite of Takasaki.
わかった。腹を割って話そう。
Well, I guess. I mean, she is a straightforward girl herself, so I guess I don't see why this wouldn't be an appropriate approach. Maybe not the right timing.
何を言ってるの？
何か思うところがあるんだろ。話してみろよ。
あのね。
そうだ。話しづらいなら委員長から紅茶セットを借りてくるとしようか。ロシアンティーでも入れてやるよ。
ちょっと。
あとはそうだな。カントリーミュージックでもかけて。
You're just laying it on now.
わかったわ。エリカは茶化してるのね。
I laugh before congratulating her on finally having caught on. She glares at me haughtily, though now I know it's just a look of exasperation she's giving me.
相手にしているのがバカバカしくなるわね。
You are so exhausting. Her tone is sharp, but I can spot a smile breaking through her mask, which draws out my feline smile in return.
それじゃあ私もバイオリンの試験勉強をしましょうかね。
I fetch my borrowed violin and take up position just as Takasaki taught me.
ちょっと集中できないでしょ？
BGM 代わりだよ。耳に優しい音楽が流れていた方が。
Yeah, it's gonna work real well.
環境のことを考えてくれるなら、ベッドから床にこぼれ落ちている本を何とかして。
神経質なやつだな。不潔で死んだやつはいないぞ。
私がホコリアレルギーだったらどうするの？
I've got a dust allergy. I am experiencing my dust allergy right now. In fact. She answers me flatly. I set my violin down on the desk and make my way over to the bed.
白羽の推理も外れることがあるんだな。
With a resigned sigh, I start to tidy up my books. All right. I do believe that is going to do it for this part. So we'll truck on back the title screen. And yeah. So again, it's slow and steady progress. There's nothing major happening on the calendar right now. We're just kind of like, we're taking up some new classes, learning some new things, and there's just nothing there that's kind of happened. So we're just kind of slice of lifing it right now, but working in enough character progression and starting to like understand more where these characters are coming from. So we're getting there slowly but surely. This is like the slowest burn between two people. It's just like you can see it coming together. You can see it kind of almost working, but there's still like these where they're just not making a full connection yet. It gotta happen soon. I can feel it. It's gonna happen. It's there. We're on the verge of a breakthrough. I can just feel it. And hopefully that'll be next time. So of course, I want to give you a big old thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a nice rest of your whatever it is, wherever you are, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.